Hello, everyone. It is Mrs. Love, and this is our lesson number 1 in our new Unit 11. It should be, well, for the first group watching, it is Monday, April 3rd, but people who watch later will have done this on different days. I wanted to go ahead and just remind you as you go through our lessons in Unit 11, I want you to have your book handy every day when you complete your lesson. You can stop the recording anytime, pause it, and come back if you need to. I was going to put the link for the online book here, but it won't transfer into the recording. So what you can do is go to your course materials section of the content area in your online school, and you will see we are in volume D, D like dog. So what we're learning about today is John F. Kennedy. We're going to describe who John F. Kennedy was and when he was elected president. We will see some examples of his ability to inspire other people. And we're going to analyze one part of his inaugural speech, which he is very well known for. Okay, so starting off, if you want to read through this slide, you can go ahead and pause the video if you want to read it more slowly. John F. Kennedy, though, was the 35th President of the United States. He was president from January 1961 through November 1963. So only for a couple of years, and we'll find out why a little bit later. Some Americans thought that Kennedy's youth and his religion would be roadblocks to him getting elected. He was in a very close vote in this presidential election, but he did win, and he was the youngest man to ever be elected president, and he was the first Catholic to win the presidency. JFK was sort of a really charismatic guy, and people really liked him. He was able to inspire people and to encourage them to do good things in their lives. And he was an excellent speaker, as we will hear in a little while. One of the things that he is known for is starting something called the Peace Corps. And that is when he told people that they had a duty to their country and to their fellow man to volunteer. And so the Peace Corps was a new organization that was started by him, where lots of people left their jobs and they went into service to help the less fortunate. But right from the beginning, when he became president, he was determined to be an active president. He wanted to be out with the people. He wanted to be doing things. He wanted to be a good president, and he wanted to inspire people. Okay, so I want you to watch this 60-second clip video. I want you to pause this video for a moment. If you go into, well, don't pause yet. If you go into your online school, into the Unit 11 content and go to Lesson 1, there's a file in there that is called Unit 1 Video Links. Because I'm recording this, I cannot transfer the links into the recording, so I made a separate file where you can find the links for all the recordings. So go ahead and pause and watch the 60-second video about President Kennedy. Okay, so now that you watched the video, you know a little bit about him. If you go to the second link on your links page, you will see a link to the inaugural address that he gave, which was, whenever he gets sworn into office and the president gives a big speech. Well, this is just an excerpt of his speech. I want you to go ahead and listen to that. So pause the video and click the link to the inaugural address. Okay, so now that you've listened to the speech, this one particular line is very famous. The part where he says, "And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." I want you to just pause for a minute and think about what that means. Okay, so now that you thought about that, what that means, I mean, I think what he was trying to do was inspire people to do something for others. Um, that is what he believed in, people going out and doing things for others to help. Okay, so that's one of the things he's famous, and you could tell from listening to that speech, he's a very good speaker, very inspiring, very exciting to listen to, and people liked him. They wanted to follow him because of that. He was very good at convincing people of things. One of the big things that we know from watching about a week ago when we watched the film about Martin Luther King, we know that there was a big civil rights movement going on. Now, during Kennedy's inauguration, they always have a big parade when the new president is sworn in Washington, D.C., and you can see a picture of that down here. But they get out of the car and they kind of walk down the street through the parade. So one of the things he noticed right away, all the military groups are marching in the parade, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, and then there was the Coast Guard. And he noticed when he looked at the Coast Guard marchers that there was not one African American in the group. And for some reason this stuck with him. And so when he first got to the presidential office in his first month of office, one of the things he did was talk to his staff about this issue. Why are there no African Americans in the Coast Guard? So after this meeting, something happened, but by the end of the year, there was already an African American teacher in the Coast Guard and then several new cadets in the Coast Guard. So just like that, with his comment, he was able to make change. And that's what he meant by being an active president and being a good president and being somebody who would inspire others, is to notice when something's wrong and then to make something change. Okay, so I want you to just take a look. This is a picture of John F. Kennedy's family. And you can see here, this is him. He had a very large family, and the family was very wealthy, and they were a lot of politicians in this family. So if you go back to your links page where I have all the video links, there is a link to a slideshow that tells you about the most famous people in the Kennedy family. So I want you to go ahead and pause this video, click on that link, and read about some of those family members, and then come back to the video. Okay, and now that you've seen about the Kennedy family, you can tell there's a lot of influential people in his family, and you will see as we go through history how many of his family members, his brothers and cousins, were very active politicians also during this time, and later we will come across them again in history. So Kennedy's very active, very political family. And here's just a little chart. If you want to pause the video and just kind of take a look at this, you can see here's John F. Kennedy right here. Okay, and then this is his siblings and his children. Some of his children are listed here, and you can just see how they start with his grandparents and his parents being very active people, and look at all their titles. They're ambassadors and generals and mayors and senators and governors. So all of this family, very, very prominent people. Okay, now I want you to go to your links page and watch the Brain Pop video about Kennedy. You can pause this video while you're watching. And if you can't log in with your own user, you can of course use the Agora. You can use the Agora login right here. So go ahead, watch, and then come back to this video when you're done watching. Okay, so you finished the Brain Pop video. Now you know a little bit more about John F. Kennedy. What you're going to do now is log into your Unit 11, Lesson 1 in your online school. There's a quiz. Well, it's a graded assignment. It's not a quiz. I want you to complete that. It's only 4 questions. Okay? And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to download one of these files of the study guide. They're both the same. One's a Word file and one is a PDF, whichever version you prefer. If you're going to type into your study guide, it's better to use the Word version. Okay? If you're going to print the study guide and fill it out with a pencil, then use the PDF version down here. Okay, so your assignment to finish for today is to complete the study guide questions for lesson 1. That is what I showed you on the last slide. And you're going to save those, okay, because that is going to become your study tool for the quiz and the test later in this unit. At the end of the unit, I will give you the answers to the study guide, but for now I want you to complete it yourself because that is going to help you remember what you've learned. Then you're going to complete graded assignment 11.1 right here. Okay, so if you have any questions about anything, please send Mrs. Love an email. If you're away at PSSAs while we did this in class, then you need to submit your questions to me through email. I think that's all for today. So finish up your assignment and move on, and everybody have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow.